Today is the day when Kevin Trainer and I end our 3-year marriage. He asked me to wait for him at the court at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I put on the most exquisite makeup and dressed more beautifully than ever before. Ding! Wisnovel reminds you to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner to read the complete novel. Even though this marriage was initially forced by me, and even though he never loved me in these 3 years, I still want to end it with dignity. I thought that if it was a divorce, Kevin would definitely be eager for it. But I stood here in high heels, waiting for him for 3 hours in this hot weather, and he didn't show up. Does he not even want to see me for the divorce? At that moment, I received a call from his secretary. Kevin had an accident and was seriously injured. They needed me to sign some documents. I immediately felt a chill run down my spine and rushed over. After signing the documents, I anxiously sat on a chair in the hospital corridor. I heard that Kevin had the accident on his way to see me. Did I cause this? Miss Michelle, the documents have been signed. You can go now, Secretary Tracy said coldly, showing me the door. Just like Kevin, he doesn't like me too. If I weren't Kevin's legal wife, Secretary Tracy wouldn't even have notified me of this. After all, what I did back then was so detestable. 3 years ago, I was the spoiled and willful daughter of the Michelle family. I fell in love with Kevin Trainer, who was still a poor guy at the time. With just one glance, I fell in love with his face and couldn't be without him. So I used my family's influence to force Kevin to marry me. As long as he married me, I would help him pay for his mother's medical expenses. If he didn't fall in love with me within 3 years, we would divorce. Today is the last day of the 3-year period, and he still hasn't fallen in love with me. He could never love me. He hates me. He hates me for ruining his future, and he couldn't save his mother in the end. So in these 3 years, he never lived with me. Even when he came back occasionally, he slept in a separate room. He was supposed to get rid of me today, but he got into an accident because of me. I wiped away my tears, lowered my head, and said in a hoarse voice, "I'm not going back." Secretary Tracy didn't say anything more. The surgery was successful, but because Kevin was injured in the head. It's uncertain when he will wake up. When he was pushed out of the operating room, his face was pale. I wanted to go over, but Secretary Tracy stopped me outside. Even though we've been married for 3 years, even though Kevin only has me as his family now, the people around him still don't believe me. They won't call me Mrs. Trainer. They only call me Miss Michelle. They don't want me to get close to Kevin. Miss Michelle, please go back. Mr. Trainer wouldn't want to see you when he wakes up. Secretary Tracy barred me from the ward. I looked inside and finally nodded. Originally, after today, no matter what happens to Kevin, it would have nothing to do with me. But we haven't divorced yet, and he is still my husband. I'll come back when he wakes up, I said. Secretary Tracy gave me a disgusted look. I know he won't tell me when Kevin will wake up, but I need to confirm his safety in person before I can rest assured. So I come to the hospital every day to see Kevin. On this day, as soon as I arrived at the hospital, I saw a group of people rushing into Kevin's ward. He woke up. I struggled to squeeze through the crowd and saw Kevin sitting on the bed with a cold face. His brows were slightly furrowed, and his eyes were filled with a confusion I had never seen before. Mr. Trainer, how do you feel? Secretary Tracy asked him. Kevin looked at him for a while and asked, "Who are you?" As soon as these words came out, everyone present was stunned. Kevin lost his memory. He couldn't remember his secretary, his friends, or the confidants who fought alongside him. Of course, he couldn't possibly remember me either. The doctor said this was a rare condition, and to help him recover his memory, it would be best for family and friends to accompany him more. So, the people who were forgotten by Kevin lined up to introduce themselves. I was the last one. This is Aviva Michelle, your wife. Secretary Tracy introduced me with just this sentence. Upon hearing this, Kevin, who had previously had a cold expression, showed a hint of tenderness in his eyes. He gently opened his thin lips and said to me, "Come here." Suddenly, everyone was looking at me. The tears that were about to fall from my eyes were startled back. I walked nervously to his side. Then, he said to the others, You all can leave, I want to rest. But he left me behind. Evidently, he trusted me, his wife. But Secretary Tracy wanted to say something, but he was silenced by a glance from Kevin. He left with the others, and suddenly, there were only the two of us left in the ward. Why didn't you come till now? Kevin suddenly grabbed my hand, made me sit on the edge of the bed. He seemed to be complaining about why I, his wife, didn't come to see him in the first place. I was pleasantly surprised by his favor. He used to keep his distance from me, never taking the initiative to hold my hand. What's wrong? He asked. I shook my head in a hurry and said, nothing. Then I asked him again. Do you really not remember anything? He nodded. I'm sorry, I really don't remember anything now. A strange joy surged up in my heart, and tears flowed uncontrollably. I turned my head and covered my face with my hand. If that's the case, will he also forget the things I've done for him? Will he not divorce me? Don't cry, I will remember as soon as possible. He comforted me. I cried even harder. He really forgot, and now he treats me better than any other day before. Because he forgot the evil things I had done in the past. And now, I am his only wife. I cried and said, it's okay. In front of him, I tried to act like a magnanimous wife. He reached out to wipe away my tears and asked, how did I used to call you? Honey? Or did I call you by your nickname? Kevin used to call me by my full name. But I couldn't tell him. So I said, I don't have a nickname. He smiled and said, I see, honey. This is the Kevin I wanted. At this moment, I shamelessly wished that he would always be this good to me. Kevin just woke up and needs to rest more. When I came out of the ward, I saw Secretary Tracy waiting nearby. He looked at me and sarcastically. Are you happy now? Yes, I am indeed happy. Even though my husband had a car accident and suffered serious consequences, I got what I wanted the most because of it. And for that, I secretly rejoiced. I am still as despicable as before. In this car accident, Kevin not only injured his head but also broke his right hand. After losing his memory, he became wary of everyone, which had been a long-standing habit of his. However, he only allowed me, his wife, to get close to him. So, I come to the hospital every day to take care of him and bring him 3 meals. Now, I am more like his wife than ever before. Honey, come here for a moment. I heard his voice coming from the bathroom. I quickly put down the cup and walked to the bathroom door. I asked worriedly. What happened in there? Come in, the door is not locked. I was too worried to care about anything, so I went in without hesitation. Kevin stood in front of the toilet, looking a bit helpless. He waved his hand hanging in front of his chest and said to me, I can't undo my belt with one hand, can you help me? I immediately went over, but when I reached his waist with my hand, I stopped abruptly. My face turned hot. Although Kevin and I have been married for 3 years, we have never shared a room. On the day of our wedding, he didn't even enter my room. After that, he was busy with work and often not at home. He also disliked being with me. We had very little time together, let alone such intimate actions. Can you undo it quickly? He urged. I withdrew my hand, wanting to refuse. But when I looked up and saw his strange gaze, I reluctantly nodded. For a normal couple, this level of contact is nothing, especially since we have been married for 3 years. If I refuse, it will definitely arouse his suspicion. He is a very clever person, and I can't let him find out. So, with my eyes closed, I undid his pants. In the panic, I touched everything I shouldn't have touched. Okay, you can take care of yourself. I said, then turned and walked out, almost bumping into the door frame. Fortunately, Kevin assumed that I was just shy and didn't suspect anything. After my careful care, he finally recovered and was discharged from the hospital over a month later. His hand also healed. On the day of his discharge, Secretary Tracy came to pick us up. He looked at me with a somewhat unfriendly gaze. After we arrived home, Kevin asked me, "Don't you like Secretary Tracy?" I shook my head. It's not that I don't like him, it's that he doesn't like me. Then I'll ask him to come less often in the future. Kevin was unfamiliar with our home, but overall, he was satisfied. However, when he saw his own room, he frowned. Did I often not stay at home before? No, I said. Then why are there so few clothes? There isn't even a pajama. He was puzzled. His wardrobe was empty and there were only suits. I quickly said, because your clothes were sent for cleaning. I forgot to bring them back today. In fact, I didn't send his clothes for cleaning. These are the only clothes Kevin left here. Tomorrow, I can only ask Secretary Tracy to bring his clothes from elsewhere. Not only the wardrobe, but the entire house had very few traces of Kevin's life. He had many questions. But I had concealed them all very well. Finally, I dug out the red pajamas we prepared for our wedding from the bottom of the wardrobe and reluctantly sent Kevin into the bathroom. While he was showering, I quickly hid the divorce agreement from the bag in the cabinet. As long as Kevin doesn't recover his memory, I can avoid divorcing him for one more day. I even hope he never recovers his memory. That way, I will always be his closest wife. After showering, it was time to sleep. We had always slept in separate rooms before, so after making his bed, I instinctively wanted to go back to my own room. Why do we sleep in separate rooms? He called me back. Shouldn't husband and wife sleep together? His words pierced my heart. Because you don't like me. Is it because I snore? He asked again, as if he wanted to thoroughly understand this issue. No, I quickly denied. It's because you don't like sleeping with me. He seemed to pause for a moment and then nodded. I sighed and quickly left his room. He didn't like it before, and it's impossible for him to suddenly like it now. I tidied everything and lay on the bed, ready to sleep. At that moment, there was a knock on the door. I immediately jumped out of bed. It's me. It was Kevin's voice. Please open the door. I quickly got off the bed and opened the door for him. He was wearing a red pajama, holding a pillow, standing at the door, his bangs covering his eyes. He looked thinner, but more handsome. I've been thinking, we are husband and wife, we should sleep in the same room, he said. I looked at him in astonishment. Is it okay? He asked. I nodded. He then sidestepped and came in. I was a bit dazed and followed him. After getting on the bed, he turned off the light. And the room suddenly became quiet, but I could still hear his breathing. I had never slept on the same bed with him before, nor had I been so close to him for a long time. Just the thought of it made my heart beat rapidly. Suddenly, he turned over, and then a warm body pressed against me from behind. When his hand wrapped around my waist, I couldn't help but shrink back. After a while, he asked, Was I always unkind to you before? My heart suddenly panicked. How could he ask such a question? Did he discover something? Yuri trembling, he said. Did I never hold you like this before? Of course not. But I didn't know how to respond, so I remained silent. It was as if I had agreed. He tightened his hand around my waist, his breathing becoming erratic, as if he was dissatisfied with something. Then, in a solemn tone, he said, I will treat you well from now on. If he recovers his memory later, he won't treat me well. He will only make me leave him. So, while he was still suffering from amnesia, I wanted to be selfish and possessive. Even if he finds out later and gets angry, it doesn't matter, because he originally disliked me. Lost in my thoughts, I suddenly felt hotter and became restless. With a slight movement, my thigh seemed to touch something. That touch. I realized what it was, and my blood surged throughout my body. My face must be red, luckily the lights were off. His breath became noticeably heavier, and I didn't dare to move, praying that he would fall asleep quickly. But in the next moment, Kevin asked, Can we have sex? How could he ask such a serious question? My brain seemed to shut down, and I lost the ability to think. After nodding, I realized a serious problem. It seemed like I was still a virgin. If he finds out, he will definitely suspect me. But it was too late. He had already started to undress me. I used to yearn for intimacy with the man in front of me because I loved him so much. After we got married, I thought we would have a sweet life together, but I didn't expect that he didn't like me at all. He didn't even touch me. Before sinking into oblivion, I thought about how to explain to him. But soon, my mind went blank and I couldn't think of anything. The next day, when I woke up, it was already noon. My clothes and the sheets had been changed, and the room was clean. I struggled to get up and freshen up. I never expected that even after sleeping for so long, I still felt tired. After freshening up, Kevin was waiting for me in the dining room. During the meal, he hesitated several times before finally speaking when he put down his chopsticks. "Yesterday was your first time?" I almost sprayed the soup I was drinking. What kind of question is this? After being with me for so long, he seemed to have become accustomed to my silence, meaning consent. Then he furrowed his brows and asked, with a strange expression, "Was I frigid before?" The chopsticks in my hand fell onto the table. I don't remember how I managed to deceive him afterwards, but in the end, he temporarily put aside that question. However, a man who initiates sex without restraint is very different. Later, he didn't even ask for my opinion. When it was time to sleep, he climbed onto my bed directly. He held me afterwards, saying with a tone of great regret, "How could I not like sleeping with you before?" He tossed me around, leaving me feeling powerless, but my mind was clear. If he recovers his memory, he will definitely regret his current behavior. I'm just being despicable by not telling him. After losing his memory, Kevin was so good to me that I thought life would always be like this. Until I found a diamond ring in his drawer. It was a beautiful lady's style, sparkling in the sunlight. When we got married, he let someone randomly choose a ring, and he never wore our wedding ring himself. He despised me so much that this ring was not meant for me. I heard that he had a good relationship with a female friend before getting married. Maybe I ruined their relationship. I had known for a long time that he no longer loved me, but when I saw this ring, I still felt heartbroken. Just as I was about to put the ring back, Secretary Tracy called me. Mr. Trainer had an accident. I hurried to the hospital. However, Kevin was sitting there unharmed. When he saw me, he immediately reached out to me. "Are you okay?" I asked. He shook his head and said, "I seem to remember something." Was he going to recover his memory? Which part would it be? I nervously looked at him. It turned out that Secretary Tracy took Kevin back to his hometown. And when he saw the place where he used to live, he suddenly had a severe headache and remembered his childhood and his mother. I breathed a sigh of relief that it was only his childhood memories, not the memories of the past 3 years. But his memory was indeed recovering, and it would probably be fully restored soon. When he remembered everything, he would definitely hate me. The doctor said that taking him to places he used to frequent would help him regain his memory. I didn't need to do it myself. Secretary Tracy would handle it perfectly. For example, Kevin would go to the company more often, and he would remember many work-related things. Sooner or later, he would remember what I had done to him. I worried about it endlessly. Secretary Tracy also warned me. Mr. Trainer will eventually remember everything. By keeping it from him, you are digging your own grave. I knew. I was already prepared. Thinking of the ring in his drawer, now only Secretary Tracy would know who that person was. So I asked him, did he have someone he liked before? Are they together now?